Hello, welcome back to We Are City channel for our Manchester City FIFA 23 career mode Manchester City revamp, reboot we're calling it. We're currently top of the Premier League table. As we know, it is transfer deadline day, and objectives wise there's a few things that the club wanted us to do. Brand exposure, signed 3 players for the team. We've only signed 1. I thought we signed Pavard and Pope. Surely that puts up for 2, but they've not counted that for whatever reason. They also, youth-wise, want us to sign 2 players younger than 20. And I've picked out a couple of young players who could bring in a deadline day like City would do, CFG signs for the future in positions that we perhaps don't have a lot of young players in. And also, I'm thinking we need to bring in a winger. And I've been looking at who's been linked to Manchester City. And there's one player heavily linked with City a few years ago that City really wanted. The player then didn't happen because the player that left didn't come in and so on. And then he got injured, but he's back to full fitness now, full sharpness, and he's the player we're going to go for. But first, we're going to sign the young players that we're aiming for. The first one is like a striker for the future. We've got Erling Haaland and we've got Julian Alvarez, but someone who's a young player for the future who looks a pretty promising striker. Mateus Arezo stands out to me as a player that is highly rated next to Luis Suarez. He's had a bit of a loan at Granada in La Liga, has not worked out, but I do think he's one of those CFG signs. And of all the younger strikers that are out there that City could sign, I suppose, or in career mode, there's not many like under 75 rated that are under 21 that can then be developed. There's not many out there at all. So Mateus Arezo seems like the best option. And then also, I was thinking left back's a big issue for the club for the future. City have been linked with Jordan Boss of Melbourne City, of our sister club. Only 20, around 80 potential. He also seems like a pretty good deal. Could play a bit of football in the FA Cup perhaps for us off the bench, then go out on loan next season and see where we go with those. So we're going to make moves for both these players. We haven't scouted them long enough to know how much they were, so I'm going to have to go online and see on the database what they think these players are worth and then make a move for them. I'm thinking Arezo is worth around 5 million. Now, there is a player I'm looking to move on. That is, of course, Ben Knight. So I'm going to offer him in this deal and go... Actually, no, I'm going to put Ben Knight in the Boast deal because actually him going to Australia makes sense. I can't afford to let this deal fall through. It is deadline day, so we have to make it happen. And that is what's worrying me. I don't know his value. I don't know whether to overpay for him and go 6.5 million and see what they say. Going with that straight away, 6.5 million, 16% sell-on fee. So that is something they're interested in. A sell-on fee. What if we drop it down to 10%? 6.5 million plus 10% for Arezo. We have a deal. Peñarol agreed to that straight away. So for Jordan Boss, we're going to say 3 million plus Ben Knight. Maybe 4 million plus Ben Knight. Maybe it might be even worth even more. 4.5 million plus Ben Knight. Let's see what happens here. They're not interested in Ben Knight, but they do want 4.5 million. And we'll drop it down to 4. No. Yeah, we'll drop it down to 4. Another sell-on clause of 10%. I think Melbourne will be interested in that. They are. So Bose and Arezo on deadline day. Jordan Bose is going to be a prospect for the future, only 20 years of age, but he's agreed to that. Wants a 3-year contract. We'll bump him up to 4 because he is one for the future. He wants no release clause. Wages-wise, hopefully he gives a signal. He does. 19,000 per week. Thank you. We'll bump him up to 23,500 per week and drop this down to 100,000 signing bonus. I think he'll agree to that. Jordan Bose, he's moving to Manchester City. That's a good signing for the future. 20-year-old from one of our sister clubs, only 4 million. Could be sold for profit, but I do think we could see him in this career mode in the future if he develops well. And there is confirmation of the deal. Jordan Bose from Melbourne City to Manchester City. £4 million. I don't think it'll be an A rating, a D. Decent buy. They thought we could go for 2.7. Only 20, but he doesn't count as that. Stronger skills could have saved you 1.4 million on the deal. But he looks good for the future. One is Mateus Arezo. Can we get him on a good deal? So, prospect for the future. He's happy with that. 3-year deal like Jordan Bose. We're going to try and get him on a 4-year deal. Agreed. No release clause for him. It's 47,000 per week. Well, obviously he's a lot higher rated than I expected him to be. About 300,000 signing bonus and 52,000 per week. For Mateus Arezo. Agreed. 2 young players coming in around 70 rated for the future of this team. Like Maximo Perrone in midfield, like other players we have out on loan, Carlos Borges. We're building a real squad for the future as well. That is what City have to do. Think for the future. And Arezo arrives at the Etihad Stadium and a £6.5 million deal. That will, again, probably be a D. Rate him. It's a B. It's a B, actually. Did well getting him for 6.5. He's obviously worth more. I'm glad they didn't go in straight away with 5. So 5.6, the best possible deal. 20 years of age. That's a really good signing again. So Mikel Oyarzabal is the target. He's the man I'm looking for. Can play on the left or the right. Was one that City really wanted to sign a few years ago when Leroy Sané was leaving. He got injured and then things didn't work out for him. He's back from injury, playing really well. Captains La Real. He's a leader. He's also a really high quality player. Works hard. Technically gifted, the sort of winger Pep Guardiola wants. So it's not quick, but very skillful, can pick a pass, can shoot as well. With Pope out to the end of the season, we do need a new winger. We desperately need a new winger. Now, Pope prefers to play on the right, actually, despite being right-footed. And Oyarzabal prefers to play on the left, despite being left-footed. And that complements then Jack Grealish and Bernardo Silva, who are inverted players on either side. I think that works really well. So Mikel Oyarzabal, that's the man we're going to make the move for. What about 40 million for Mikel Oyarzabal? That is above his value. And La Real say yes, Mikel Oyarzabal for 40 is agreeable. And many Basque players love their club and love their country and don't want to leave. But Oyarzabal has had a chance to join Manchester City before. In the end, it didn't happen because of Sané staying at City and getting injured. This time it does happen. He won't be one that got away. He will be one that we bring in. We're going to offer him 90,000 per week. A £1 million signing bonus. I'm sure he'll agree to that. 40,000 per week, more than doubling his wages. Mikel Oyarzabal, oh, he wants a bit more. Okay, 99,000 per week, 100,000 per week plus the £1 million signing bonus. Agreeable, Mikel Oyarzabal, that's agreed with Manchester City. And there we have it, Mikel Oyarzabal joins Manchester City, someone that City really, really wanted a few years ago. I think we're desperate for a winger. He must be on City's scouting list now. He's back from injury and playing top football again for La Real, and with David Silva. We played against him in the Champions League, but he wasn't in the side for La Real, surprisingly. And he's a good signing. He can play actually on the left or the right. Pope actually prefers to play on the right, and Oyarzabal prefers to play on the left. So we've got a left and right foot on the left-hand side, and a right and left foot on the other side. So Oyarzabal is a player. La Real to Manchester City, 40 million. Could have paid his 70 million release clause, but we negotiated. His career dropped off a little bit after the injury. Only a B rating, but that's fine. Maybe could have got him for below that. But I didn't want to waste things on transfer deadline day. Good signing. And a new winger finally in the squad, meaning the squad isn't as thin anymore. And Mikel Oyarzabal will wear the number 11 for Manchester City. We're going to convert him to a left winger, can play on the right as well. But he's a really exciting sign, I believe. The sort of winger Pep Guardiola really wants. Well, John Bose has just joined the club, but he's also moving away till the end of the season on loan to Everton in the Premier League. That's a really good move to left back and good experience for him. Well, Ben Knight on deadline day has rejected a move to Wigan and also to, I think it was Poland. Matis Orezo has had a short-term loan with Sporting Lisbon to end the season agreed. However, I do believe with only 1 hour left in transfer window, that deal is going to fall through and he will be part of the club this season. So here's the schedule for today's episode. Because we have done a bit of transfer business, we are only going to play 3 games, and these are the 3 games we're going to play. Newcastle at home in the Premier League, Fulham away in the Premier League, and then Bayern Munich, the side we've drawn in the first stage of knockout rounds of the Champions League. That is difficult. Beat them over 2 legs last season comfortably. They're the side we face to end today's episode. You see there, Newcastle in 4th place, so they're battling still to get top 4. We are miles ahead in the title race. No one's catching us. Unbelievable season. Unbelievable performance from us. This is a sign for Newcastle today. We're going back to the diamond in midfield with Ederson in goal. It's Stones, Diaz and Gvardiol the back 3. Phillips, De Bruyne, Foden and Kovacic the midfield diamond. Grealish, Haaland, Bernardo Silva our front 3 on the bench. Julian Alvarez, Mikel Oyarzabal can make his debut for City. Fit and ready, sharp to go. McAtee, Lewis, Akanji Ake and Stefan Ortega. So Etihad Stadium awaits Newcastle United. That is the side we will be facing off against here. Newcastle, a strong team. I'm interested to see how they do line up here against Manchester City. City with a new sign on the bench. A possibility of making his debut today against Newcastle in Spaniard Mikel Oyarzabal. He's a brilliant addition. He would be a big impact, so I believe, off the bench with Julian Alvarez as well. Diaz the captain. I'm interested to see how Newcastle line up today. So this is the Newcastle side. Then in goal starts Nick Pope. It's a back 4 of Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman and Ian Munoz. It is then captain Sandro Tonali, Joelinton and Bruno Guimaraes in the midfield 3. Bradley Barcola, Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon the front 3 on the bench. Dubravka, Danny Carvajal, new signing. Willock, Mukhtar, Barnes, Byrne and Longstaff. Straight out for a throw-in, Phil Foden. Lovely skill from Phil. Foden. Bernardo. De Bruyne. De Bruyne into Haaland here and dealt with by Fabian Schär. Haaland's in the back of the net. Foden and Bernardo. Haaland. Foden. Foden out to Jack Grealish there on that far side. Grealish. Kovacic. In behind to Grealish. Grealish across to Haaland here. Oh, mistake by Schär. It's a penalty, City. I saw him control that onto his arm there, Fabian Sharp. Probably would have been right for him to just clear it away. He's worried about Haaland behind him. Controls it onto his hand. It's a penalty for City. I mean, Eddie Howe seething on the sidelines. Haaland against Pope. Haaland slams it home. Too easy, 1-0 City. It's Erling Haaland again. On the signature celebration from Erling Haaland as Manchester City lead by 1-0. Really good finish. Haaland steps up. And he slams it in that top corner. And that is goal what for Haaland this season? Goal number 35 now. Just after the January transfer window, and he's on 35 goals already. Over to Bernardo. Bernardo. Haaland in the volley! Oh, just past the post by Haaland. Good chance, good crossing as well from Bernardo Silva. De Bruyne crossed in, blocked away, corner ball. De Bruyne to swing this one in. Swung in well. Vardiol with a big header. Handball for City again. Munoz comes off his hand, or Sven Botman. Another penalty. We take them, but some of them are really harsh. Does it hit a hand? Who knows? Haaland for number 36 of the season. Bottom right hand corner. Haaland goes, and a save by Nick Pope. Creation a kick on there, and Trippier, that's half time. City lead by 1-0 against Newcastle from the spot. But Haaland's also missed a penalty. Call a decent play. Tonali. Isak. Anthony Gordon. Sense something coming for Newcastle here, actually. Bacola. Guimaraes. Ball through to Isak here. He does score 1-1. Could sense that goal coming. Newcastle's first shot of the game in this goal. Too easy. Good finish by Isak. That was coming. That was coming. I could sense it. And we concede again a silly goal. Don't concede when Benjamin Pavard's on the right hand side. Is that something we should be looking at? De Bruyne. Haaland. Clips into Kovacic. Kovacic still. Penalty Manchester City. Off the hand of Kieran Trippier. That's lucky if anything. Kovacic controls it. And Trippier uses his arm. Can Haaland give us the lead here? He should do. Haaland against Pope. Pope goes the right way again. Haaland misses another penalty. Vardiol with him. Oyarzabal helping out as well. Nicola still. Willock. Good play here by Willock. Should have given it Isak. Tipped over the bar by Edison. But if he gives that to Isak, they score there. Selfish from Joe Willock. Cost his team. Isak in there. He has a way. Oyarzabal can't control it. Phillips in there. Bacola. Bacola! Good save by Edison. Haaland. Oyarzabal. He's onside here, Spaniard. Oyarzabal in his debut. Oyarzabal! First bit of involvement in the game. And Mikel Oyarzabal scores in his debut. 1-0 City. Or 2-1. 1-0. One goal in it. Good ball by Haaland. And Mikel Oyarzabal in his debut. Played in. And only goes and scores. Well done, Oyarzabal. Brilliant. Brilliant from the winger there. On his debut. Off the bench and scores immediately. Vardiol. Oyarzabal again here. Mikel Oyarzabal. Oh, through the back of him comes a player and he still keeps it anyway. Well played on this far side here. Haaland back to Oyarzabal. We've beat Trippier to it. Oh, and he's past Trippier as if he's not there. Oyarzabal. Back into Haaland here. Oh, it's 3-1. Oyarzabal makes an absolute massive difference on that left-hand side here since he's come on. A goal and assist in moments on the field. Great play from Oyarzabal into Erling Haaland and a great finish. Kanji for a tired Diaz. But Haaland lets it roll onto his right foot and he puts in that top corner. Goes down the line straight to Bernardo Silva, Rico Lewis. De Bruyne. Haaland. Late one on De Bruyne and we play on his Rico Lewis. Rico. Haaland arriving on the volley. Saved by Nick Pope. De Bruyne. In towards Haaland. There's a nice flick by De Bruyne. Down to Rico Lewis. Oyarzabal. And that is full time. City 3, Newcastle 1. Immediate impact from our new number 11 on that left hand side. Came on, scored and assisted. And Jack Grealish has some real competition on that side now from Mikel Oyarzabal. Some real competition. He looked fantastic. City win. Another 3 points in the back. An agreement for next season, Mateus Arejo will be joining Cardiff on a 12-month loan. A year in La Liga should be good for his development. It's good news to know that by the start of the next episode, Rodri will be back playing for Manchester City. He's back from his injury, back in training, but I'm not going to risk him in the next 2 games. Up next for today is Fulham in the Premier League. This is the side we're going to go with Edison in goal, Diaz the captain, Pavard and Ake the back 3. Stones and Phillips sit in the midfield with Alvarez and De Bruyne in front. It's Haaland up top with McAtee on the right today and Oyarzabal on the left. On the bench, Grealish, Foden, Kovacic, Luis Akanji, Vardy and Ortega. No Bernardo Silva, he's rested because we do have Bayern Munich coming up in the Champions League next. So Craven Cottage, out we come from the car park as it is there at Fulham. A Fulham side that are lower down the table. They've signed a couple of good players actually. Dominic Solanke up there. Williams, they've managed to keep hold of him. Emil Forsberg in the side as well. I'll be interested to see how they do line up. The Fulham side does look pretty strong and they've made some really good improvements to the team. This is the Fulham side then. In goal starts Bernd Leno. It's a back 4 of Kerman and Babu, Diop, Tosin Adebayo and Anthony Robinson. Midfield 2 of captain Fred and Joao Paulinho. And then it's Wilson, Forsberg and Willian supporting the striker Dominic Solanke up top. On the bench, Lunin, Sequeira, Lukic, Vinicius, Alberto Moreno, Reece James and also Therese Campbell. Bernardo Silva when Bernardo needs a rest. Willian, nice skill. Solanke. Forsberg with a chance here. And I say it by Edison. A good start by Fulham. Into Phillips. Stones. Out to James McAtee. Against Robinson. Oh, he's beat Robinson. Great skill by McAtee. Back to Alvarez. Julian Alvarez! Straight at Leno. A good play by McAtee. Robinson couldn't stop him. So skillful, the young player. Bad pass to De Bruyne. First bad pass he's made, that. Forsberg. Falling behind here. Wilson. Paulinho. Lovely ball to Willian. Willian with a chance here. Great goal for Fulham. Great goal for Fulham, but Willian's offside, thankfully. That was a great goal. Great ball by Paulinho. We've not started well here today at the Etihad. Or away from the Etihad. Pavard. Diaz. McAtee. Into John Stones. Johnny Stones here. Into McAtee again. Into Haaland to the near post. Oh, and Leno keeps it before Alvarez could tap at him. Back they go. Good play from Fulham. Fred. Wilson. Pulled it back here. Fred again. Good tackle by Calvin Phillips. Into De Bruyne. That's the half-time whistle. 0-0 at Craven Cottage. Can't find the breakthrough. Had a few chances. Well, not enough. Fulham have had chances as well. They've actually the ball in the back of the net. Inside here. Cross again. Fred. Fred with a shot. Blocked by Diaz. Corner ball for Fulham. Feels like a goal's not coming today, actually. And I'm thinking, we've got Bayern Munich not too far away. I need to rest Erling Haaland or Phillips. Willian in. Tossing. Oh, chance of Paulinho. You want to say by Edison. Intercepted by Pavard. McAtee. Alvarez. De Bruyne. De Bruyne into Haaland here. Haaland spent a bit wide. Haaland with a chance and over the bar by Leno. Good save by the keeper. Corner ball. Oyarzabal in. Benjamin Pavard. Who scored against Bournemouth, was it? The last one. Oh, Luton Town. William. Stone's trying to keep with him. Forsberg. Kovacic. Oyarzabal's off. Oyarzabal. Good play. Brilliant play. Kovacic. Little nutmeg in the box here by Kovacic. Nothing comes of it. Pull back. Rico Lewis mistake here. Ake away. Alvarez in there. Forsberg with his chance here and over the bar by Edison. Corner ball. That's the end of the game. It's going to be a 0-0 draw here at Fulham. No goals for either side. Unless Rico Lewis away. How was the referee still playing on here? Oh, Tosin Adebayo. Chance for Fulham in the last minute. We've played 94 from a possible 92. Well, thank you, referee. Fulham get 3 points against us here. Thank you, referee. Well played. Well played. We just kept playing until Fulham scored there. 2 added minutes to the 92 minutes. 2 added minutes and we play 94. Runs through us. Vardy dives in. Solanke scores. Thank you, referee. Full time. Defeat at Fulham. And that comes down to just the referee there. Just did whatever he wanted for Fulham and let them play as long as they want. And finally, in today's episode, it is round of 16, action at the Allianz Arena. In the Champions League, we draw early on Bayern Munich. This is side for Bayern: Haaland, Grealish and Bernardo Silva the front three, De Bruyne and Foden in behind with Phillips and Stones behind that. Back three of Captain Diaz, Akanji and Ake, Edison in goal. On the bench, Alvarez, Oyarzabal, Kovacic, Lewis, Pavard, Vardiol and Ortega. Half thinking Kovacic should have started ahead of Foden here today, but I'm going to go with that for now. Well, here we go at the Allianz Arena. Coming out against the Bayern Munich side with a couple of ex-Manchester City players in there. Have to see if they do start this fixture here away from home in a massive Champions League game. City, of course, got a 1-1 draw here in Bayern, didn't we? And also beat them 4-0, 3-0 at home, which took us through to the Champions League semi-final where City went and did the same to Real Madrid. Away from home, we tend to go and get a draw, and at home we go and beat teams. That's the way things tend to go. That's the way Pep Guardiola won the competition last season, and I intend to do a similar thing this season again if we can do. Get draws away from home, and that's why I feel like I should have started Kovacic ahead of actually Phil Foden. But Foden starts in there. Let's see his quality, and let's see how Bayern Munich line up. En-Nesyri up top, it seems. Sané, Coman, Musiala, strong by inside, really strong by inside. So there is Joshua Kimmich, captain today. Shaking hands with the officials. This is the Bayern Munich side for Thomas Tuchel. Looks a strong one. Kimmich the captain and Neuer the goalkeeper. Nubel, Gnabry, Jimenez, David, Davies, Gravenberg on the bench there. You can see it's Kimmich, De Ligt, Upamecano, Guerreiro and Walker. The back five or back four with Kimmich in the midfield. Musiala, Conrad Laimer in front. And En-Nesyri from Sevilla up top with Sané and Coman on the wings. Back into Stones. Phillips. Over to Jack Grealish here. Grealish. Haaland near post here. Gets it wrong. He's offside anyway. Couldn't get on right, Haaland. That was a good chance of City. Foden. Lovely turn from Phil. Spins Kyle Walker. Then to Grealish. Walker overlapping. Recovery pace. Grealish has gone for goal here. And he's just past the post, Jack Grealish. Back into Bernardo. Bernardo Silva. Stones. Ake. De Bruyne. Bernardo. Bernardo goes for goal over the bar by Bernardo Silva. Foden. Stones. Haaland. De Bruyne. Kimmich with a late one on Kevin De Bruyne there. This could be red card for Captain Kimmich. Not even a yellow. He came for the back of him. Siri can't beat Diaz to it. Back to Ake we go. Or Akanji it is. Oh, Akanji's nicked it. Been at his pocket pick right in the edge of his own box here. Musiala. Musiala. Musiala slammed it in. What a mistake by Manu Akanji. What a mistake by Akanji. And Bayern take the lead at the Allianz. Well, we dominated Bayern. We've been the better side. And Akanji slips as he went to control it. And Yamal Musiala puts it past Edison. Akanji at fault there. Bayern Munich 1, Manchester City 0. Against Rafael Guerreiro. Bernardo. Past him. Bernardo, brilliant. Bernardo, foul by Guerreiro. Penalty Manchester City. Rafael Guerreiro with a quick kick on Bernardo Silva. He didn't go down. He tried to stay on his feet. Credit to him. But he did kick him. Here. Throws him over and Haaland's got a chance to score a penalty here. Well, De Bruyne is over it. It's going to be Haaland. I know he's missed a few recently. Come on. Haaland sends Neuer the wrong way. It's 1-1. Well, he missed a penalty at the Allianz Arena last season. But Erling Haaland doesn't hear 1-1. Well, we deserve that for how well we've done. Haaland steps up here. Neuer goes the wrong way. Over the bar he sent it. In the last one, didn't he, at the Allianz Arena. Haaland scores this time. Bayern 1, City 1. Minutes after as well, Bayern score. Ahead of Sané. Grealish past Walker. Grealish in there. Locked away by Upamecano. Corner for City. Bernardo Silva to take it. In. Stones with a thumping header off the crossbar. Really nice header by Stones there to get the power in it. And off the bar and away behind for a goal kick. Unlucky. Phillips trying to stay with Yamal Musiala. Back to Sané. That is half time at the Allianz Arena. 1-1 with Bayern Munich in the Champions League. All level. But we're the better team. We're definitely the better team. Sané from range. Blocked by Phillips. Guerreiro back out to Laimer. Sané. De Ligt. Musiala, good block by Diaz. It's fallen back to Musiala again. It's fallen back to Musiala again. How lucky, how fortunate are two Bayern's goals, by the way. Falls straight to Musiala, 2-1 Bayern. Falls straight to Musiala. Musiala. Lima. To the middle to Musiala, who's the absolute superstar here, and he's playing in Coleman. Diaz, oh, Diaz, brilliant. Say Diaz can't stop him. Diaz does stop him. Need a draw here, the Allianz. Come on. City keep pushing, De Bruyne. Wide out to Oyarzabal. Against Kyle Walker. He's done Walker. Oyarzabal. Haaland's in there! 2-2. Oyarzabal. What a bit of skill that left-hand side. Just a little shimmy with the feet. And that had Kyle Walker stepping back. And by that time, Oyarzabal's created the space to get across him. It's a lovely ball in. And it's Haaland at the near post. 2-2 at the Allianz. Big goal for City to get it level here away from home. Musiala and Haaland, two of the best young players in the world, going head-to-head here, competing to show who's better. Against Kyle Walker. Oh, he nearly beats Walker. Unlucky. So close to going past him then. Bit more pitch. Bit more space. And he's in. We're going away to Phillips here. City last chance to score. Stones into Haaland. Cut out by Bayern. That's full time. We end today's episode with a 2-2 draw in the Champions League against Bayern Munich, meaning we go back to the Etihad in the round of 16 with a chance to knock them out, of course, in a good position really at 2-2. And then we want to retain our Champions League title if possible, especially considering how well we're doing in the Premier League. Thanks for watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. We'll see you next time.